Like Lawson.
With the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
Spots me where that came from, Tex.
With the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
Here comes the bit.
We're just trying to be friendly.
Cheese and crackers, bonita.
We're the young generation.
Boom.
Dang it all to hell.
No, your mic. Oh my God, I'm on.
Your mics are live.
How do I turn
I
this
love
off?
these people.
Oh my gosh.
Hi. Good morning.
We're all
My name is Meredith. Welcome to this monkeying around madness. You guys may or may not know me. I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky as Beer and Crosswords. Some of y'all know me as Loud, Meredith. My pronouns are they, them. So if you have been following the EDE Twitter page for the last couple of years, you may know there has been something of a feud brewing between one of our fearless leaders, Bufalo, and one Mr. Gregory Lawson. No idea how it started, but there are monkeys involved, hence this panel. So we are here today to settle a score. And we brought some friends along to further fuel the chaos. We're going to play a couple of fun games, and the team who wins gets crowned top banana.
I want to be the top banana.
All right, question for you. How many of you glorious nerds have ever heard of the NPR news quiz called Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me? Nerds!
Dragged into your monkey feud.
Magical nerds! So this format is going to be very familiar to you. The content is 100% original, but the format comes from Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. So I wanted to give credit where credit is due. With that said, let's bring out our teams. Please welcome Meghan Heffern, Rachel Skarsten,
100%.
Kate Drummond, Greg Lawson, and two of our gracious hosts for this weekend, Allie and Buffalo.
Me next to
If you're like Rotosaur.
Oh, I know what they're for.
They both look
Why
so
are they
put
here?
upon, beleaguered. It's like you've been running yourselves ragged for a couple of months. What's going on, guys? You all right?
you. It's slippy under here. If I have to stand up fast, I'm going to go like
Your mic's
ass over tea kettle.
Oh, that's nice. Just courtesy.
Am I on?
Sweet.
La 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 la. I think I'm on.
I'm
They
on.
were on
Test,
the
test.
back.
Oh, wow.
And I think I got set up because I'm pretty sure the AV guy told me I was muted. And then
Who would dare mute you?
Oh. Now we got a new feud.
and he also told me that don't worry, it's muted when you go to the bathroom. Wait a second. That joke didn't land.
So,
Funny is, I was actually going to tell that joke, and I was like, no, not now. Now's not the time.
I did it.
first thing in the morning.
I did it.
So, Buffy, Greg, how did this whole thing start?
He started it. Period. 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 Period.
No,
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
no. I was tweeting at you from a bar in Sussex, New Brunswick,
Party.
and for some reason I just decided to put up a monkey. No, it started with me saying, "Oh, there'll be dancing monkeys, and come on down. There'll be fun and autographs and dancing monkeys." And then you said there won't. And then I said, well, I think there will be. And then we started tweeting the monkeys.
I distinctly remember you asking if people were going to get barrels. And
Oh.
if there were, see, now the memories come back. So all
Oh,
of a
the
sudden.
banana shirt.
Well,
I
it was
get
2 years ago.
There
now.
you go.
Yeah. It started with Niagara Falls, and then you get your own free barrel, cat barrel. And,
Like
and
a barrel
then-
to go over the
And then
falls?
it just seemed to make sense to have monkeys in the barrel. I was just trying to be fun.
Seemed to make sense to
That makes
me.
sense.
You're fun. You are a fun guy.
Lying.
All right, let's get this game going here. So, this is how it's going to go. You are in teams of 2. There are 4 rounds to this game, and I will assign points for every correct answer that you give in each round. And the team with the most points, top banana. Okay? Round 1, keeping in the monkey theme. Round 1 is called Speak No Evil.
Okay.
I am going to give each team quotes from Winona Earp.
Oh, no.
And you are going to need to tell me who said it.
Oh, no.
Megan, I'm going to start with you. You guys can work together.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I
fuck.
don't watch the
So, first,
Great.
first quote, who said it? She's not really my sister. She's more like my demon husband's other wife.
That was me. Beth. I got one.
Yes! I told you, I got you.
I remembered my own line.
Second quote.
That's more than I can say for myself. I actually had to watch an episode yesterday to get a quote. Yeah.
All right, second quote. You should see what I can do naked.
Oh, no, that's me. On the show and in real life.
I have not had enough coffee to deal with you this morning.
I can attest to that because, swamp love. See, that joke landed. I take the other one back.
Third quote. Darlin', I'm everybody's type.
Oh,
Oh, a dog.
Yes,
it was the accent.
Wow.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm a
Fourth.
wiener.
Fourth quote. I never blow jobs without a please first.
Maybe.
You want to say it?
No, you go.
Winona?
Yes! And your final quote. Did I hit my head and wake up in patriarchal bullshit land?
That was hot. That was hot.
Wait, I was gonna say that. You're on my team. No,
Minus 1 from Greg and Kate.
No, because I was gonna say Nicole.
That is correct. Nicole Hot. So
I just wanted to get one
5
right.
for 5.
Get it
Rachel
right
and
for us.
Megan. Good job.
You're welcome.
I'm sweating.
Buffy and Allie. First quote.
Not us.
Have a good night, lesbians. Your quote.
Oh,
Have a good night, lesbians.
Bunny.
Bunny Loblaw, that is correct.
Funny.
Second. For freedom.
Cleo.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say the guy from
Oh, sorry.
what's that Scottish movie?
That
Braveheart.
Yeah, Kate, this is Winona Earp themed.
No, this is. Kate, it's only from Winona Earp.
Jurassic Park.
Third quote for Buffy and Allie. There's a notebook stuck to my butt. There's a notebook stuck to my butt.
Look, we've been planning shit up here. It's been a while.
See how easy you get trash talk fast.
It's gotta be Nicole or it's gotta be Waverly.
There it
Waverly.
is. All right.
Meredith, your impressions are bang on.
Yeah.
Bang the fuck on.
Thanks. All right, fourth quote,
We're
Buffy and
number
Allie.
3.
If everything was perfect, champagne wouldn't have bubbles.
Oh, I know that one. Rosita.
Yes. All right, here's a little more of a difficult one. I got to give you guys a challenge. We're going back to season 1 for this one. Brought you a shirt, put your coffee back on.
Well, Winona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Said to dolls.
You got a
5
good
for
partner.
5. Buffy and Allie. All right, Kate. All right, Greg.
I don't watch the show, so.
First quote.
That's great.
First quote. I am stuck in this living anus of a town.
That was me.
Yeah, it was.
That was an easy one.
I like that line.
Who said, "Gimme my Nedley"?
Winona.
Yes. All right. Who said, "Well, frankly, Lucado, the situation is balls"?
Waverly.
Aphrodite made me do it.
Did you say that?
Also, is that their impression of him? And I think
Don't-
Greg, that's his
Again,
voice in
I'm
my
going to
mind.
say again to you, Greg, don't fuck this up.
It's your favorite deputy. Aphrodite made me do it.
Oh. What?
Your favorite deputy.
Oh, that would be Deputy Hawk.
Yes.
Woo.
Finally, your final quote. Nobody fucks with our family.
Oh, that was Ned.
Yes. All right, 5 for 5. Except we are taking 1 point away from Greg and Kate for answering out of turn. All right, so. Round 2. I told you, Kate, I wasn't going to play favorites on this panel. Because everybody knows, obviously.
All right.
I looked over at Greg and he gave me like this really sultry one eyebrow lift, like as if that's going to
Bonita.
smooth it over.
I don't know. It worked for me.
It kind of did.
All right, second game is called Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys. Which is my favorite way of saying, I cannot control this problem, I'm not going to worry about it. So pass that on, I love that. So what's going to happen here is that I'm going to ask each team 3 multiple choice questions, okay?
Okay.
I am going to give you a word, and I'm going to give you 3 definitions of this word. Each of these words for each team is from a profession that is not your own.
Okay.
Wait, say that again.
So, here's what's going to happen. Thanks to IMDb, I realized that Meghan was on an episode of Rain.
Oh, no.
So, Rachel and Meghan, you are going to answer questions about meteorology.
Rain? Okay.
Kate and Greg were both on Heartland, so you are going to answer questions about cardiology.
Okay.
Buffy and Allie, this is Earp Division Expo. You're going to answer questions about math.
Good. That's good, Meredith.
That's really
That's
well done.
really, really
yeah,
good.
That's really
All
well
right,
done.
Yeah.
Kate and Greg, you're up first.
All right.
I'm going to give you 3 definitions of a word having to do with cardiology. You have to tell me which is the correct definition.
Okay.
Okay? First word is angina.
I know what that is. I know.
Your
Sorry.
first, so is it A, the capital of Saskatchewan, B, chest pain, or C, don't say it, we already know what you're thinking, you dirty birds?
It's chest pain.
That is correct.
That
The
was-
answer is B.
That's an easy
Your
one.
second,
So easy.
your second cardiology term, bradycardia,
I know what that is.
Sorry?
or bradycardia.
Yeah.
Is it A, a medical term for the broken heart of New England Patriots fans after Tom retired? B, a thickening of the heart muscle that befell Greg, Bobby, Peter, Marcia, Jen, and Cindy after a lifetime of Alice's cooking? Or B, a slow heart rate? Or C, a slow heart rate?
You're the one that
Softball.
I know this. My brother has this.
See.
Yes, correct. Your final word, infarct. Is it A, Heart
I
tissue.
know that ahead of time. That's what happens when I get lactose.
So A, is it heart tissue damaged by an inadequate supply of oxygen? B, the type face specific to EKG readouts? Or C, an unfortunate side effect of the Randy Nedley Memorial Chili Cook-Off for Freedom?
A.
That is correct. 3 for 3, Team Greg and Kate. Rachel and Megan, you are next. Questions about meteorology.
Great.
Cool.
Your first word is waterspout. Is it A, a weather pattern of most concern to the itsy bitsy spider? B, what happens when your friend cracks a joke while you're drinking? Or C, a tornado over a lake or pond?
C.
That is correct. C.
I just took it.
You seem sure.
I took it.
All right.
It could
you're
also be A, but you know.
Yeah.
No,
it's C.
it's C.
It is C, but it could be A.
It could be A.
The itsy bitsy spider.
But in
Practical terms.
yeah, I'm just saying.
I threw you a curveball.
You did.
All right, your second term is cold core low.
Ooh.
Is it A, what you experience filming Winona Earp during Calgary winters? B, part of the jet stream in northern Canada? Or C, when it's too cold to snow?
Can you?
Cold core low. And so, I mean, it being cold when we filmed Winona goes without saying, but that is not the answer.
It's not the answer.
So-
But also could be A. Not A, but could be.
Yeah. Do we get points for which?
Always.
I
Okay,
get
no. So
negative
wait, what are the second two?
Part of the jet stream in northern Canada?
Yeah.
Or when it is too cold to snow?
I think it's,
Okay, yeah, we'll go with it.
oh my God, I'm stressed. Okay.
B.
That is correct.
Could have been this.
Oh, sorry, my hands are so cold.
What
I'm
is
like, I'm cold
B,
core low.
part of the jet stream in northern Canada.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't get that question.
Google. All right, your final term, diurnal effects. 1, phenomena caused by daytime heating. B,
By daytime what?
Daytime heating.
Right.
B,
You said eating.
that too. B, what your bladder feels first thing in the morning. Or is it C, the result of sticking things where the sun don't shine?
A.
A.
That is correct.
Yeah,
3
although
for 3.
I wish it was C.
Listen, 3 for 3. Congratulations on you.
job.
All right, Buffy and Allie. These are not math problems. I do not math. If it's more than 10, I have to take off my shoes. If it's more than 20, I need a friend. So, 3 terms about math. 1, absolute value. Is it A, the price I'm charging you to host this panel? B, what Allie paid for that bottle of vodka you were sipping from backstage? Or is it C, the distance of a number from 0?
Yeah, am I on?
Yeah,
We're going to go with C.
that is correct. The
some
distance of a number from 0. Your second term, improper fraction.
I know.
Is it A, a small sample of the conversation you two thought you were being quiet about? B, where the numerator is greater than the denominator? Or is it C, the relative number of dirty to clean jokes I wrote for this panel that didn't make it through the final edit?
We're feeling kind of smart. You want to just wing it and go with B? I think so.
That is correct. B. All right, your final term, Buffy and Allie. Mathematics. The term is stem and leaf. Is it A, a graphic used to organize and compare data? B, the part of the tree that monkeys prefer to eat? Or C, the makeup of what you might be smoking on Monday when this is all said and done?
You know what? All 3 of those are more palatable to what I had in my head and I was afraid you were going to say. So, but I did lose. I lost the plot here. What are my choices?
Is it A, a graphic used to organize and compare data?
let's go with
We're going to go with
let's
A.
just go with that.
Congratulations. Game 2, done and done. Game 3 is called Hear No Evil, and it requires some audience participation. This is essentially 2 lies and a truth. Each team is going to, you guys have scripts here, and they are highlighted. I have extra glasses if you need.
Do I have to read this out loud?
So it's, yeah. It's, so you guys are gonna, each team is gonna tell the audience a story.
It's like,
You guys will, it's in 20-point font. It's not that long.
no, but it reminds me of being in school, and then you have to like prepare. Okay, it's like, okay.
I know who wins. I know which story is true because I wrote them. So you guys are going to have to determine which story is true. And if you guess the correct answer, the team with the true story gets 10 points. If you guess the incorrect answer, that team that convinced you gets the 10 points.
It's not like looking at your thing doesn't change anything. It's not for us.
It
Oh my
is.
God.
Aren't you guessing if it's true?
No, you're going to read the story. You and Greg are going to split reading this story. The audience at the end of this is going to find out who's telling the truth. So Kate, you guys are actually going first. Kate and Greg are going to tell you a story about true love at Niagara
Oh,
Falls.
so I read this. I see. I see. Okay.
Are they all about true love in Niagara Falls?
No.
Oh.
They all about Niagara Falls, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, but these are like, one of these is a true story about Niagara Falls.
Head over heels in love. Julia and Michael Winterbottom have been married for 50 years. Their parents were lifelong friends, so they grew up together. They were high school sweethearts. Neither can remember a time in their lives when the other one wasn't in it. It was assumed, it wasn't assumed, it was just known, understood, and destined that they would get married and grow old together. Michael had a ring. He just wanted the right time and the right place. It happened a week before their college graduation. Michael was accepted into law school in Philadelphia, where Julia was to pursue her master's in art history, and they decided to celebrate with a cruise on the Maid of the Mist. Oh, no. They were born and raised within 30 miles of Niagara Falls and had, for no particular reason, never visited the popular tourist attraction.
It was windier than they had anticipated, but an otherwise beautiful May afternoon when they boarded the boat at the base of Prospect Point. The couple found a spot along the port side, grinning like idiots as they adjusted each other's blue plastic ponchos. Oh, I've seen those. Julia brought her new Polaroid SX-70 camera to document their excursion, and the small zip-top bag that she brought to keep their photos safe and dry was already close to full. The boat lurched violently, side to side, while still tethered to the dock, and Michael had a fleeting pang of regret aimed at the morning's big breakfast, sitting like a rock in his belly. His plan was to propose as they passed Bridal Veil Falls. So he took a deep breath and let out a mighty exhale to try to calm both his nerves and his stomach. Julia, as the person who knew him best, had a sense he was up to something. She knew boats made him uneasy. But this was something altogether bigger. She took his hand, as the maid's engine roared to life and the boat began its journey. She gave him a small smile, squeezed his hand. Oh my God. He squeezed his hand to silently let him know that everything was going to be okay.
Michael had a small diamond ring tucked into his front pocket. He left the velvet box in his sock drawer, thinking its outline would be too obvious, and he obviously wanted his proposal to be a surprise. The cruise was only 20 minutes long, so he had to be strategic. With Julia focused on her camera, he was able to quickly and discreetly pat himself down to, oops, sorry. Just making sure you're all awake. To ensure his precious cargo was still safe and dry. Curiosity satisfied, Michael saw his moment approaching as the maid passed the Luna Island observation point. He realized early on the volume of the falls was too loud to pop the question verbally. So he planned to get down on one knee and present the ring, knowing she would understand the purpose. Seconds after he released his iron grip on the rail and reached into his left pocket, a violent gust of wind and spray kicked up and knocked him backward with his hand trapped in his left pocket. He flailed and flopped on the deck with one free arm until Julia and another tourist ran to his side. This sounds like us at our photo op yesterday.
I know. Oddly reminiscent. This is true for sure.
Very reminiscent. I'm feeling like heart palpitations. Julia picked him up by his armpits.
Yeah, that's what I do to you all the time.
He immediately felt his breakfast knocking at the metaphorical door and reflexively ripped his hand from his pocket to brace both hands on the rail as he prepared to heave over the side. It was then when he saw a shiny object flash before his eyes and disappear into the rolling river below.
This is a sad story.
Oh,
This is a sad story. Well, Michael leaned on the rail, dumbfounded, and twice as nauseated as he was before. Oh, it wasn't a family heirloom, but just a small diamond chip to act like a placeholder until he could afford something bigger. Little did he know that Julia had also seen something shiny fly over the side, and she knew exactly what it was. The walk back to the parking lot was silent until they reached the car. Instead of going to the passenger side, Julia followed Michael to the driver's side and insisted that she drive them home. It struck him as odd, but he didn't argue. With his eyes unfocused and staring blankly forward, he reached deep into his right pocket to put his index finger through the hole of the simple key ring that held the valet key to their Ford. He insisted on bringing it rather than the full set of car and house keys for the sake of traveling light.
Julia held out her hand to accept the key into the flat of her palm and giggled as her future husband's eyes bugged out of his head when he realized that he was not handing her an auxiliary key to their '68 Ford Falcon. Julia slipped the ring onto her own finger and whispered, wait a second.
That's not what she said.
Julia held out her hand to accept the key into the flat of her palm and giggled. That was for you. As her future husband's eyes bugged out of his head when he realized he was not handing her an auxiliary key to their '68 Ford Falcon, Julia slipped the ring onto her own finger and whispered yes into his ear as they hugged. They broke the embrace and held each other at arm's length. How did you know? Michael asked her. Julia sighed and said, my darling, you always put the car key in your right pocket because that is where you keep important things. I noticed you slipped it into your left after we parked this morning and figured something else was in the right one. Michael gazed at his now fiancé through his tears. I'm so happy, he said. He's apparently Italian too. I'm so happy. Julia replied, I am too, my love. But do you know what would make me even happier? Figuring out how we're gonna get home.
All right, Kate and Greg, thank you very much. That's our first story. True Love at Niagara Falls. Buffy and Allie, you guys are next.
Okay.
You have a tale about the Queen of the Mist.
Niagara Falls. Oh, this is kind of nerdy. Welcome, nerds.
Fits.
Nerds. Niagara Falls is estimated to be more than 12,000 years old, the result of glaciers carving a gorge and then receding after the Ice Age. Tens of millions of people flock to both the United States and Canada each year to feast their eyes upon one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Some have even entertained the idiotic notion of purposely throwing themselves over in the hopes of fame and fortune.
Maybe us.
I don't think we'll get fame or fortune.
Since the turn of the 20th century, 15 daredevils have gone over to Horseshoe Falls and plunged into the raging rapids below. Only 9 of them survived. Steve Trotter made 2 attempts 10 years apart, Kirk Jones survived his first attempt with nothing more than the clothes on his back, but not his second from inside an inflatable ball. Beginning in 1951, heavy fines were imposed on would-be daredevils by the government on both sides of the border, with some violators being permanently banished from Canada as punishment. The first person to go over the falls in a barrel and survive was the most unlikely thrill-seeker, a 63-year-old Civil War widow named Addie Edison Taylor. Oh, sorry.
I believe it.
There's a typo in here. Taylor was born in Auburn, New York, but settled in Bay City, Michigan after her husband was killed during the war. She was known to travel in high society circles in the late 19th century, but by 1900 had fallen into dire financial straits. She had made a substantial and ultimately unwise investments with a local clergyman, and then on top of it lost her home in a fire. She saw an opportunity in 1901 with the Pan American Expo in Buffalo. Millions of would and did attend, and it was estimated that between 10 and 50,000 of them visited the falls each day. Ms. Taylor hoped to cash in on that popularity and secure her financial future.
People had been tempting fate by tightrope walking over the gorge and riding barrels through the rapids at the base of the falls for years. Annie Edison Taylor, in modern parlance, wanted to kick up, that's fancy, it was fancy, wanted to kick up a notch and go over the falls in one of those barrels. She commissioned a local cooper to design a custom barrel of white oak held together with 7 iron hoops. The inside was fitted with cushions and pillows to help ensure her safety, as well as a 200-pound anvil to keep it upright in the water. The plan was to tow the barrel down the Niagara River behind a towboat, cut the rope, and hope for the best. Kind of like planning EDA. Right? Yeah. Taylor and her 2 accomplices, William Holloran and Fred Truesdale, executed a test run on October 18th, 1901, with a cat. Oh, that's harsh. That's right. It was a cat barrel. I can't believe you made me say that. The cat survived, likely down to 1 or 2 of its 9 lives. So Taylor, Holloran, and Truesdale set October 24th, Taylor's 63rd birthday, as the big day.
In the afternoon of October 24th, Annie Edson Taylor was sealed into her barrel on an island about a mile ahead of the drop. She was laced into a harness built into the barrel, and the barrel was pumped full of air before it was set adrift at 4:05 p.m.
Oh my God.
Taylor's barrel bobbed through the current and out of sight of the gathered crowd before it, and she within plunged 150 feet over Horseshoe Falls into the roiling rapids below. Once the barrel surfaced, it took a rescue boat staged at the base of the falls an agonizing 20 minutes to reach it. No one on board or land knew what to expect once the lid was breached.
A battered and bruised Taylor emerged from the barrel alive, triumphant, and moderately concussed, but was able to walk under her own power, off the boat and to the Maid of the Mist dock on the Canadian side. She was brought to her rooming house on the American side and spent the night under observation of several physicians. There was an initial burst of popularity and publicity with the speaking engagements and appearances, including the Pan American Expo on November 1st, where she was crowned Queen of the Mist. Requests eventually dried up, and Taylor spent nearly all of her money on private investigators after her unscrupulous manager stole her famous barrel.
Annie Edson Taylor died penniless October 29th, 1921, at the age of 82. Public donations paid for her burial among the other daredevils at Stunter's Rest section of Oakwood Cemetery in the city of Niagara Falls. She never found the fortune of which she dreamed, but found her fame even in death.
Thank you, Buffy and Allie, Queen of the Mist. Our final story, Rachel and Meghan.
All right,
It's
we
a
have
story
a
about a
dramatic
man
reading.
and his startling discovery. Oh.
Oh my God.
Fred Plum
expected
has
no
walked through
less.
Niagara Falls National Park every Sunday for the last 25 years. He wakes up at the same time, he takes the same route from his home in Lewiston, he eats a granola bar at the same spot along Route 104. Sometimes it's an oatmeal cookie, but don't tell his wife Betsy. Although she probably already knows. One Sunday last June, there was a forced deviation in his routine. Fred Plum tripped over a rock that wasn't there the week before and came face to face with the grass he'd never really examined up close. Eyes closed, nose in the dirt, Fred took in the smell of the earth and the roar of the falls before he pushed himself onto his hands and knees. As he began to right himself, something sharp dug into his palm.
Oh, it's my turn. Fred sat back on his heels and glared at the ground as if it had insulted his wife. Glaring back at him was something nestled in the dirt. Was it a rock? He pulled it from the ground and turned it over a few times in his hand, giving it a cursory inspection. It looked like a rock, but it also looked like a tooth, or at least part of a tooth. An accountant by trade, Fred considered himself an Ice Age buff, an amateur geologist / paleontologist. In his layman's opinion, he surmised, due to the item's size, shape, and density, that he had stumbled upon the broken-off tip of a mastodon tusk. He folded the thumbnail-sized piece into his handkerchief and headed for the car. Once home, Fred made a beeline for his study with no concern for Betsy. Since she was at her Sunday bridge game, he rummaged around the top drawer of his desk for his trusty magnifying glass and then pulled down his well-worn copy of National Geographic Prehistoric Mammals from a nearby shelf. He settled into his chair, fingers already on the fluorescent mastodon post-it flag sticking out of the appropriate chapter, pre-labeled by past Fred for present Fred's convenience. Your turn.
Oh. Fred unfurled his handkerchief and peered curiously at the piece of what he had hoped was a tusk in front of him. He carefully picked up the specimen and with a magnifying glass noticed 3 distinct striations. What?
Striations.
Holy shit. His brain, so early. His brain spun with possibilities of how the giant beast could have broken off the tip of its massive tusk. Not satisfied with any of his own theories, Fred decided to call his old college roommate, Dr. Robert Onderdonk. Well, my story is definitely false. A paleontologist on staff at the New York State Museum in Albany. Dr. Whatever was very curious about the piece and asked Fred if he could bring it to Albany for him to examine and test in person. With Betsy's blessing, Fred set out on the next morning on his quest for answers, 4.5 hours east of the state capitol. The drive was monotonous, but gave him the time to think about mastodons, and Pleistocene era, and what he was going to have for lunch.
The sun was bright in Albany, a sharp contrast to the imposing, brutalist architecture of the museum and the Empire State Plaza. Fred found Bob Oderdonk's office with little trouble, and after an awkward back-clapping hug with his old friend, ceremoniously presented his treasure. Nestled in his handkerchief inside a small Tupperware container. Bob observed the item with its plastic confines before he gingerly tipped it to the...
Betsy's not here. Get out of here.
Get out of here, Betsy. Let me take that back. Bob observed the item within its plastic confines before he gingerly tipped it into his gloved hand. He bounced it in his palm to gauge its weight. He held it between his index finger and his thumb to gauge its size. He rubbed the side of it to remove a layer of dust so he could better view the 3 distinct striations Fred had mentioned on the phone. He then delicately placed the piece on the tray of his microscope and leaned into the lens. It's your turn.
Fred was on pins and needles, excited to learn more about his incredible discovery. He cocked his head like a confused puppy when Bob straightened up from the scope, took the specimen from the tray, stuck out his tongue, and licked it. Bob nodded his head in a silent affirmation, pleased with his conclusion. He did all he could to keep a straight face, but burst out into a wheezy cackle as he turned to face his friend and deliver the news. Fred Plum had not unearthed the broken tip of the mastodon tusk. No, no, no. Fred Plum had found a dehydrated piece of candy corn. They looked at each other for a brief moment and burst into peals of hysterical laughter. The old friends spent an hour catching up over lunch in the museum before Fred had to make the trek back to Western New York.
Where are we again?
And Bob insisted they eat at the South Lobby in the shadow of the complete skeleton of the Cahoe's mastodon. And Betsy waved goodbye.
Thank you for the visual interpretation of our final story, Fred Plum and his mastodon candy corn tooth.
No problem.
So, audience, who is telling the truth? Was it Meghan and Rachel with Fred Plum? Was it Kate and Greg with Julia and Michael Winterbottom? Or was it Allie and Buffy with Annie Edison Taylor? You guys are wicked smart. Buffy and Allie, you had the correct story. Annie Edison Taylor was the first person to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Wow.
And it is true, she tested it with her cat.
Wait a second. So there's no Dr. Odin Duncan?
No, it's Onderdonk, and that is a true last name. It's
Ordendonk?
Onderdonk, it's Dutch. And it's Albany, not Albany.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And it's New York and not you, North.
Exactly. So, 10 points to Buffy and Allie. Thank you all.
I clearly can't read.
Final game. You're done reading, everybody. Now you just have to listen. This final game is called Monkey Business. I'm going to read each team 2 Winona Earp themed limericks. And as a team, you will have to fill in the last word or phrase.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Kate and Greg, we're going to start with you. First limerick. She's a fluffy red coon from up Maine. To Ms. Loblaw, she's really a pain. Randy Nedley will scoff. He will claim she ran off. We miss you.
Calamity Jane.
That is correct.
Oh! I misunderstood.
Do you get where we're going, though?
I thought I didn't realize we were looking for like the actual true thing. I was
I thought we were making something funny.
I was making up. I was like, what dirty word rhymes with?
No.
with
You are
Maine?
filling in the final word or phrase of this limerick based on the context clues.
Thinking about the one-act play we saw.
Second limerick for Kate and Greg.
Oh gosh.
Here we go. The attraction is real. You don't need to fight. This bra's oddly comfy from day through night. My eyes are up here. You're proving my theory that boobs are much better than...
Penises?
What's the answer?
I thought the same thing.
Dynamite.
Oh, dynamite.
Context clues. Buffy and Allie, Rachel and Meghan, context clues. Okay?
Penises. Okay.
By the way, shameless self-promotion, Rachel and I have our photo op together after this.
All right. Rachel and Meghan, here are your limericks. First one. In bottles, in cans, or in 40s, with mocktails and cocktails, all sorties. The taps they can spurt, beer all over your shirt. It all started for way hot in...
Shorties.
Yes! Nicely done, Meghan.
Thank you.
Second limerick for you guys.
Okay.
The angel, she acts as a warden. On a throne made of stone, she would harden. She's safer down here with her shield, that is clear. Please keep Waverly out of that. Audience?
Sorry. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, repeat it.
All right. The angel, she acts as a warden.
Okay.
On a throne made of stone she would harden. She's safer down here with her shield. That is clear. Please keep Waverly out of that.
Penises.
Garden.
That is correct, Megan.
Garden.
Final limerick.
Penises.
Final 2 limericks. Allie and Buffalo, you're going to close this out. All right, you guys ready? First for Allie and Buffalo. They'll cut you right down at your knees with branches that swing in the breeze. They're all made of wood and they're up to no good. Just watch out for those murderous...
Penises works for all.
I was so close to saying monkeys.
Definitely trees.
Trees, that's correct. Final limerick. This is going to decide the game. She fought Bobo and Bulshar, that nuisance. The big baddies, they're doing their penance. She's got hair like a mare with a piercing blue stare. Our Winona is back with a
vengeance!
Points don't matter.
Monkey!
Thank you guys for putting up with this absolute insanity. Thank you all for reading first thing in the morning. And thank you. Photos, autos, come meet these amazing people. Thank you.